Greetings, fellow adventurers, and welcome to the Third Company Gaming and our second episode of The Tale of Two Daughters, our Harn campaign. And let's go ahead and start with a brief recap of last week's episode. Last week, Hafyn, a member of the secretive Order of Rangers known as the Uthenbuleri, was traveling to a remote woodland inn known as Trobridge Inn, and there he was meeting another member of the Order, a young mage named Zyrsin. Thereupon they met each other, spoke with the innkeeper and some other people in the village, and spent the night preparing to travel back to Caldor and on to Jar the next day. However, there was a letter waiting for Hafyn. The contents that he has not revealed, but he has said that we need to travel to Gardiran and make good speed doing so. They were preparing to do that the next morning when they were awoken, as they were packing their bags, by a man who was in some distress, named Hirepa. He is the local clothier, and he said his two children, aged around 11 or 12, did not return home last night and are presumed missing. They searched around the village, came across a cottage at the edge of town that seemed to have a trail of apple cores and chicken bones leading that direction, and surmised that perhaps those are the children going that way. They followed that up and came across a large sinkhole in the ground with a rope ladder descending into it. The rope ladder was not left by the children, it was very obvious. It is set well by a very heavy stake into the ground. But there is some fear amongst the two fellows that the curious lads have descended down into this sinkhole near this strange cottage in the woods. And I will move us then to that page.
All right, Zyrsin. I suppose you're not willing to go first as the mage. Is it? But give me a heads up. What can you do to be of help if we come across something that with claws or teeth or slime down there?
My magics won't be of much use for the most part, but I'm good with a sword and good with my hands.
Okay.
But
fair question. I don't know that you guys would have really brought, a light source with you.
I was planning on Little Sun as the light source, although I may hand it to Zyrsin to hold.
Okay. Can you describe for us what that does?
Yes, it does. It creates a mystical object for a number of hours that sheds light, kind of as an orb. It's an Uthram Roleri ritual based off of Siam magics or enchantments. I don't think I have to put it on anything. I think it just does create an object.
It just is, or you could put an object. However you guys want to handle it. I'll be flexible with that kind of thing. And we'll have to decide how to set it on your tokens. Does it give an idea of how much light it says? Does it describe it shines like a candle? It shines like a torch?
I have to hope that I grabbed that section.
I can find it.
I did not grab it.
It's a Seamus spell?
It's specifically in the Uthram Roleri section.
Gotcha.
Entry, I guess.
Okay. If you will pause a moment as I go through my grimoires.
Of course, if I break the ritual roll, then we have a different problem.
You might need to hunt around and find a candle.
we might be able to find some in the cabin. I think we already established that the owner is not there.
Sun, a small fire. Cause an object to emit light and heat equivalent to a small fire. Okay. Okay. So I guess it'd be a small fire. It'd be kind of like a torch.
A torch, right?
Causes an object. So it's cast upon an object. So you could pick up a stick and basically make it into a torch.
Sure. Yeah. So it's the woods. We have plenty of sticks.
There's no want of sticks around here. All right. I'll set you up with a reasonable torch amount of light that you can pass from person to person. So you'll make a check on your ritual roll to do that. It is it is circle 2.
I'm probably blind.
I would have to say that you probably took probably like I'll have you make a dex times 5 roll to drop it in time to avoid burning your hands.
I'll just hit dodge for that one.
Okay, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey.
So you start to cast the ritual, and it very suddenly it consumes itself entirely and quickly in flame, and you just barely throw it out of your hands in time. It lands on the ground. There's nothing to keep you from doing that again, but
I got a crit there. How about I toss it down the hole? At least take a glimpse of what's down there.
Well, there's enough sunlight that you can see down into the hole.
Okay.
I can describe for you. There's a definite sound of running water down there. There is a rope ladder descending into it. It seems to get slightly wider as it descends. So it's like a hole has punched through the ceiling of a cavern of some sort, and then widens out once you get past the hole. So as you go down this, you'll be probably free swinging, going down the rope ladder. And strangely, there seems to be like a little rowboat down there.
Oh boy.
But there's but you really can't see very far each direction beyond the pool of light that the rising sun is throwing in there. And the sun's not directly overhead, so it's not providing great direct light right now. So you can dimly see those things down below.
Do you want to risk that again, or should we check and see if there's something we can use within the cabin? If the owner goes down there and does whatever she does ritual-wise, she probably has some light sources or something within there.
Yeah, we might as well investigate there. Probably what we're being told. There's a side rules question on how much piety and fatigue I spend and get fatigue and spend piety to do a ritual like that. So it's not something I can keep doing over and over again. But
is casting a spell like that fatiguing?
I've seen it lots of different ways. So that's kind of a specific home table rule kind of question.
Okay. I mean, I know it is that'd be a lot of fatigue if he's trying to harness it using traditional magic. But as far as ritual magic goes, I don't know the.
Right.
Does he have a spell focus for casting? Is the question. Well, it is not a Shekvavar spell. It is it's a ritual casting. It's a prayer, essentially.
Maybe his audio went out.
Well, head that way towards the cabin. That's fine.
Yeah. That's
Okay, I'll take some steps that way. And we are sure that nobody's home, right?
I don't think you've really checked yet.
The mischievous Isiri told us that she went out herb gathering or something this morning and hasn't been back, but he could be messing with us.
That is their nature, to be somewhat mischievous.
And assume there's a window I can peek in or something along those lines.
You can. There's a door. There's windows.
Is the door? Is it ajar?
I can close it. We'll say it's closed.
Well, I would think it's proper just to go knock, just to make sure she's not home. Yep, hold on. No, it doesn't actually block our view.
It doesn't. That's okay. I'm not gonna
There we
dwell.
go. Well, I'm knocking on it. Rap.
And I am peeking in a window because.
Yeah. So Dave, you're looking in like a study. You see on the table a candle which is not lit at the moment. There's some bookshelves. And papers. Fairly, you're looking in a study of somebody who has done some research, some lore. There's quite a few books here, an impressive amount, even by your standards. At around that time, you guys are trying to puzzle out what to do. You hear some footsteps coming out of the woods to the south, and you see a sort of an indeterminate aged woman. She has black hair, streaked with gray, a long, somewhat lined face, and she's carrying a somewhat unexpectedly a yearling fawn or deer slung over her shoulder. Looks like it was freshly killed. It's not really been dressed out yet, and she has a bow, and you can tell it's a bow that's been resecured inside a piece of oiled cloth, and a few arrows are tucked into her belt as she's walking back your direction. And she sort of startles seeing you.
Hello there.
Oh, hello. I wasn't quite open yet. Do you need a poultice, a potion, a balm of some sort?
No, I'm afraid it's not that. Something a little more troubling. Harpa, the tailor in town, his boys have gone missing. We're helping out and kind of tracked them this way, and so we were knocking to see if you'd seen them.
No, I haven't. I did leave at sunrise to go hunting. Something I have to do on occasion. Fortunately,
right.
I'm sorry.
Well, they've actually been missing since last night. They never did come home last night. So, was it something? Could you have maybe heard or seen or found something yet this morning?
Well, I do retire early, and I don't recall hearing anything. There's the two young lads, the 11 or 12 or so. They sometimes come snooping around here, and I scare them away. It's just not a place for children to play. The hole in the ground. I mean the hole. Yeah.
Yeah, we had some concern they may have gone down there.
Oh, that would. She looks very concerned as well when you say that. Well, that would not be safe, I'm afraid. No, that would not be safe at all if they did that. Just holes in the ground being caves and all of that being a dangerous place to go into, especially without light. I did notice that my lantern was missing this morning here. Huh. Anyway, I'm not. I'm sorry. Do you think they went down there?
Yes, we do.
We were just getting ready to go down ourselves and realized we didn't have a light source, and we also thought it'd be best to see if you were home.
Oh, she looks very, 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 very troubled right now. Very, very concerned. If you want to, is there a roll to see if you can, read their body language or?
Yeah, intrigue would be the best thing.
Whoever has that can make a read on her a little bit if you want to try that out. Zyrsin is There you go.
And roll.
That's a lot of
results.
65 so far this session.
is.
Wait a minute.
They
What's going on with this roll 20 program?
that is quite a few in a row. So that's 365s and 4 rolls. That's just weird. What are the odds? Somebody can figure that out for me. Maybe in the comments. What are the odds? Put that down below. So you don't know the lady very well, but you sense that her look of concern is not just for the welfare of small children, but she looks a little guilty, like that if something happened, it might very much be her fault.
I just think she's really concerned for those children, exceptionally so.
Exceptionally so.
Or potentially you think she put him in a pot or something. She's trying to cover. It's certainly the wrong idea.
She murdered them. Old lady's cottage in the woods. We know how the story ends. One of them is going to get in the oven. She sort of hastily opens the door and steps inside. Wait here. I'll be back in a moment.
Yes.
A lantern? It could be good for an hour or two, maybe.
If you have a backup lantern, that'd be ideal. Yes.
All right. She comes back out with a nice little lantern. It's made of wood. It has horn panels in it that will help keep a breeze from putting the flame out inside. A lot of lanterns just use candles. They use a candle inside, boop, and the lantern just helps preserve the flame and keeps a draft from blowing it out. You could alternatively have a little bowl of oil and a wick in there. Either way, it's going to be largely the same amount of light. It's just going to be a low flame. Either way, so it's a little lantern with thin horn panels they'll provide light for a fair amount of time, but not very much. A fairly dim light at best.
Yeah. Okay.
I comment.
Yeah, looking around.
Clearly, you've been down there before. Is there anything we should know? Any way they probably would have gone?
Well, yes. There's
Out with it, young miss. Come on. We need to get to these boys quicker.
Yes. There's a creature down there that I was that sort of raised up, and there's a few things down there. Yes, a creature. It started out smaller and has gotten bigger, and it's more or less trapped in there. It can't get out, but I have to bring food to it. And she kind of looks down at the deer carcass at her steps here. I do find curiosities like this and like to raise them up and see what they do. And I'm out here alone in the woods, and things are relatively safe from others becoming hurt. I usually access the way down there using my cellar door, but then a year or two ago that sinkhole opened up, and I've used that as well. There's a bit of an underground stream that can access different parts of the caverns. If you follow it far enough, it'll take you all the way out to the river. It comes out a bluff. Although the way is difficult, it's not the easiest thing to navigate. I don't do it very often. But as to where they went, I couldn't say. Hopefully if they didn't have a light, they wouldn't have gone far. Although I usually
if your lantern's missing.
It is, yes, it is. And I don't know how long it would have lasted for them. It would not have lasted the night, I assure you of that.
Well, hopefully they're just lost in some dark part of the cave with a spent lantern. So let's go ahead and get them. Is this the monster? It's probably hungry then, if it is expecting breakfast.
Yes, I have to feed it once every 2 weeks or so. Otherwise, it starts getting a bit more rambunctious.
Well, let's take that. I'll point at the deer yearling. Let's take that with us. Is it just take it raw like that?
Oh yes, definitely. You don't
Okay.
have to click it now.
Yeah, I'll if Zyrsin, if you've got the lantern, I'll pick up the deer by the hind legs, and we'll head towards the sinkhole.
She says there are some glowing um, mushrooms in the lake, and they might have. I would imagine that the young lads would have finding a failing light may very well just seek light to be safe. So
Mm-hmm.
I would just suggest that as a possibility. I can't obviously say where they are, but that's an idea at the very least. So
Okay.
Zyrson has the light. Okay.
Any any other particular dangers down there besides monsters drowning in darkness?
No, that sums it up.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a little bit of light, Zyrson, and there you go.
Maybe you know what? I'll suggest that maybe she go to her cellar door and call for the boys in case they're nearby it, and they could find their way based off of that.
Um, she pauses and says, I don't think that would be the best idea.
Oh, because that's
Because
probably about where the monster lives.
it can get there, yes. So if I call if the boys are safe and I call them and they
Yeah.
go that direction, they
Okay.
might be
Nope.
walking.
Good idea. Good point. Good point. I'm just gonna go to the edge of the hole and toss the yearling in,
All right.
and then start climbing down. Um,
Move you to the next
bow and
map.
pole on my back, but I'll
All right. You
kind
have
of
okay. So let's discuss what stuff you've got as far as weapons and what's ready, what's out, how you have your things prepared.
right. So, well, really, I would have. Um, well, I think I need two hands to climb. Unfortunately, I plan to get my flail out as I get to the bottom, but it's a long, two-handed pole weapon. So if it's too tight of a cave, I'll have to go with my dagger. Um,
Yeah, depending. Yeah, if it's tight, you'll definitely be at a very much a minus to hit. If it's very confined, if you're in a
mhm.
if you're in a chamber and you've got room and you can swing it around, then you have the advantage of that space. It'll just
Yeah.
depend on the situation. All right, I will just make me a climb roll. Just don't critically fail. Ha ha.
Guess it just depends
Oh
what a
boy.
65 does.
Even
Yeah,
Marshall will get you to the bottom. It's okay.
a little wobbly and
Just a little
noisy.
faster.
Wobbly, shake a little quicker. It shakes around somewhat alarmingly as you go down.
I'll obviously climb down also. I'll have the light source in my left hand and a short sword in my right hand.
After you climb down.
After I climb down, obviously.
After you climb down. Okay.
I'll have a dagger in my teeth on the way down. No, just kidding.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, nicely done.
Let me know when you're loaded.
I am loaded.
Okay,
Yep.
excellent. So you've dropped down the rope ladder and you see roughly a 10-foot wide, 15-foot wide creek, river that is flowing past you. Um, the rate of the direction of flow is that way. And there's a little rowboat, 6-7 feet long, pulled well up onto the shore. It doesn't even have oars. It has a pole. That seems to be how the person navigates with it. It is not a really strong rush of water, but there's some current going that direction. It smells damp, Really smells of mold. You hear a lot of dripping water. This is very much if you're familiar with the term, a living cave. It probably is still forming underground features. It's not a dry cave. It's definitely a wet cave.
Did we get the children's names?
Yeah, you have their names. Their names, to recap, are...
Well, at least they didn't take the boat. That would have been
They weren't that curious.
worse.
Lobrin and Holland.
And I put my hand around my mouth and call, Lobrin! Holland! And listen to see if there's a response.
I will make a secret listening roll for them.
I'll search in the boat, just see if they might be huddled under a blanket or something, or even underneath the boat. If they
even coming out next to it, you can see that the boat is very basic. It is only 7 feet long or so, relatively open. There's nothing in it. There's one seat inside of it. 2 people can get into it. It might be a little wobbly, but 2 people can get into it.
There's not drag tracks from a second boat or anything. I don't even know how one person got a boat down here.
I mean, if you were industrious, you could probably lower it down there. Or if you... She said there was a way out to the Farron River not too far away.
Right, if you pulled it up from the river. Okay. No. I don't see an obvious way to go, do I? There's cracks in the walls. Zyrsin, can you look around with your light and see if... Dagger it is, then.
Looks like there's a way to go way, a little crevasse that way.
I'm going to take it off the bounded grid right now. That way you can move a bit more fluidly, okay? Here, give me a second.
I just move around to try and get a view of what the light's going on. There we go.
Just make small motions, but I'll take you off being bound to the grid.
Yeah, okay. It took a minute to let me do that.
I'm just going to go a little bit in to see what's ahead that way.
There's a bit of a squeeze right there where you just went.
Okay.
But you could get through. But it was definitely...
it
was kind of like a get sideways and scooch through. You come out and you're already somewhat admittedly holed in tattered clothing, probably have acquired another hole or scrape and are covered with grime and dirt.
Yeah, now that I'm down this hall again, I'll call out their names once more. Lobrin, Holland! As there do seem to be 2 ways to go.
Okay, hold on. Well, I'm gonna pick the yearling back up.
Okay.
And haul it with us.
I'm gonna check
That's
this
really
way out a little bit too, just to get a view of what might be a better way to go.
So up ahead, you see an iron barred gate that has been kind of wedged, and bolt is probably not the right word, but has been kind of somebody's taken some the stone here is kind of like wet limestone, and somebody has taken some spikes and has banged them into the wall on either side of this gate contraption to hold it into place. It's not the most secure thing you've seen, and a person could probably get through it, but it is it has been wedged in there pretty well and secured in a reasonable fashion.
Well, 11 and 12-year-old boys could probably squeeze through there no problem, right?
Through the gate or through the gate? I mean, the gate is the bars are only like a couple of inches apart, so it is a well secured gate. So imagine a grate, and then you've taken on either side of it, you've hammered into the wall a pair of spikes to kind of hold it into place on each side. So probably 8 spikes total so that way it can't fall to the left or the right. It is kind of
Okay.
wedged in between the spikes.
Sure, but it seems impassable though.
It would be, if you were to pass it, you'd have to have somebody put the spikes back up behind you.
Okay.
So it's a safe guess that the kids probably didn't go this way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's go that other way then. I don't think south.
Are there any obvious? I mean, obvious. Look at the floor. Is there any footprints or
You guys have muddied this room up. I mean, you could try to go forward a bit more and see if you can get Hafyn to take a tracking roll.
Yeah, let's go to that. Well, there's not a path to the south, right? Zyrsin, can you poke down?
I looked here earlier. I don't think so,
Okay.
Unless they went into the water.
No, let's go east and see what we see.
Looks like it opens up a bit back here.
Okay, hold on. Let me get in front and do a track. See if we can't find, hopefully, little shoes or feet with all 5 toes. Nope. Maybe not.
I mean, I know on paper you're a good tracker, but it just has not worked out so far.
No, it has not.
Hafyn, the master woodsman, can't find a thing. It's the ground in this section it's more exposed stone, so it's hard to get tracks. You have to find maybe a muddy section and have a better chance.
All the right. Bare rock doesn't leave tracks, and all the water rivulets and trails and washes look like tentacle marks to me.
Now you see a bit of a glow to the south.
Nope.
Oh, there's death to the south. Let's go that way.
Yep. Let's hope the boys are there.
Well, it's where I would go if I were a kid.
Is that a little glowing green mushroom?
A couple of them. They're not shedding that much light, but a little bit here and there.
In little ways, I'll call out for them again.
Okay.
Doubt we're gonna surprise the beast anyway.
All right, here. It is dark. Right here, there is another gate. This one is looks more established, like it can swing open. Make an awareness check, and you're very good at that, Hafyn. If you're going to succeed at anything, it's going to be awareness. You can both make the check.
Hey now. There we go.
There we go. There's the sound of water and dripping. There's that odor of mold and damp. But there's another smell that is kind of on the air. It's a bit more of a kind of a musky odor. And you hear a kind of a rustling, scurrying sound. Maybe somewhat sounds like rats, like large rats, coming from the direction of the other side of the gate.
And it's not a familiar smell exactly. Like if it was Gargan, I'd recognize that, right?
It is not the smell of Gargan, no. It's not one that you've...
Okay.
Look at your skills real quick and see if there's something that stands out as something that you would know.
Mm-mm.
You can make an intelligence times 3 roll to see if you can pick it out from your ancient memory bank.
It'd be 36 or better. Hey.
Well, there you go. That's actually a critical success. You've smelled this before, in underground places, and the times that you've smelled it have been where some Ivashu, known as Velasta, have laired.
Oh. Shit. Let's go the other way. Does this gate open?
It does, yeah. It can't open as a catch.
Does it look like it's been opened?
It's a
Given the
tracking
tracks.
Yeah, sure. You can look for tracks on the other side.
I don't want to deal with velocity.
Are you saying that under your breath?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
So Zyrsin hears that, like, oh god, Velasta. I do not want to deal with Velasta.
What's a Velasta?
They're a common type of Ivashu, small lizardy, maybe reptile things, but their favorite food are eyeballs, and they're quite adept at jumping at your face, tearing out one or both of your eyes, and then they'll snack on it right there. They tend to travel in packs, and so they hunt, hunt your eyes anyway, as a group. So one is not too much of a problem, but when you have a half dozen of these little buggers trying to jump in your face, it's kind of a nightmare.
That's absolutely terrifying. She didn't say there are multiple things down here, did she?
No. But if she...
Do you smell that? What's that smell?
Ill variant in the south. That's the smell. They smell like Velasta smell like that.
I shake the gate ever so slightly to see if it's. I mean, I know you said we could go through it, but if it's been like clasped properly, or if maybe a kid walked by and kind of just.
So does it look like somebody's been by here recently before he?
That'd be a tracking roll.
I did roll it.
You did a tracking roll. You see, you look down at your feet before you hit to the gate. It looks like that you see footprints through here that that are around the gate, and looks like they turned around went the other way.
Okay.
Got that going for us.
And you're having that sort of conversation when you see some. Let me see what you can see. There's a little bit of light, that kind of weird phosphorescent light that's coming from the mushrooms that are in the area. And you see a momentary shadow go across the light. Now, the gate is still closed. You guys have not gone through the gate.
Right.
And sort of nosing around the corner, you see a little creature. It's about 2 feet tall. And it kind of, you see it kind of edge forward, and its head kind of swivels and turns your direction. It's very dimly seen in the light that you have. And you've seen them before. I'll show you guys what they look like.
Yeah, look, he's got an eyeball.
He presently does not. He peers around the corner, and very quickly and alarmingly fast, it springs at head high right against the gate. Bam! And falls to the ground.
I jump back.
I imagine so. You jump back, and you see 2 more behind it come filing in, and they start to jump at it as well.
So the gate has a clasp.
It does begin to occur to you how strong is this gate, as they are just hurling themselves at it over and over again.
I will just want to check real quick that it's not gonna, it's not got a loose clasp, but there's something, positively holding it in place.
Yeah, it has on your side. There's a peg that's securely in there. if they continued pounding at it, could it jar loose? I'm not saying that is impossible. I will eventually start making weapon quality checks for the gate, but they are if you can imagine just one after the other just slinging themselves at head level at this gate and falling to the ground, looking angry, and then taking a few steps back and then flying through the air again at it. I imagine at this point you guys are backing up.
Let's get out of here. Yeah. Oh yeah. We don't need to deal with them.
They and whoop! I took the gate away. Don't do that.
Hey. Get away before we antagonize them too much.
Yeah. Mostly moving by mushroom light, but
All right, and you guys have the deer carcass, is that correct?
yes. I'm carrying it.
All right.
Now there's a branch here to the west.
We came from the east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there more?
You can even see a little bit of the light from the east where the cave is. I'm pretty sure. You can just see it dimly in the distance. So make an awareness check there. Again, this is an area that's quite narrow. You got to kind of get sideways to get through.
Awareness not tracking?
Whichever one you want to do.
Oh.
Okay. You can make a tracking roll as well if you want to. Right now, Zyrsin's in front of you, so he's probably going to be messing up any tracks. Of course, he's the one that has the light. So.
Well, there was There was a branch off here to the west. That'd be a good spot. If you can bring that light back here, I'll track that branch to see if there's footprints headed that way.
So with your awareness check, you smell something else. You smell the smell of rotting meat, and you hear kind of like a very raspy, slithery noise. Is this something large? Like, the sound that you make as you're going through these corridors and turning sideways. It's like something else that's a little bit bigger is doing the same thing.
Rubbing up against the stone and
Correct.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Have you guys haven't hollered for the kids in a while, have you? Or I'm not sure where you guys are with that.
I haven't done it in a little while, but I mean,
no, we didn't want to antagonize the Velocita too much, so we stopped that.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna, lead with a deer carcass at the end of my pole and start poking this way.
Well, that's where you guys just came from.
Oh, is it?
Yep. I thought you said west. We came from the east.
You can dimly see the light from the overhead sinkhole that direction.
Hey, Hafyn's a better tracker than I am. That's good, right?
I know he hasn't quite proven that yet.
Yeah, good point. I'll work on it. Oh, it's bigger.
Up ahead, you hear it drawing close. There's a narrow section of corridor right here, and your light is very dim in these confines. Your eyes have gotten. I'm going to give you a little bit more of a bump in it because your eyes are probably getting a little bit more used to it. So I'm going to increase your radius just a smudge as you've gotten more used to the light.
Yeah. Okay.
And pushing through a narrow section is something that you've never seen before. And around that time, you hear there's a very narrow crack in the wall right there. I'm not sure if you can see that or not.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a little bit of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Very narrow. You're not sure if you can get through it. Hafyn might be able to get through it because he's quite small, but most people would not probably be able to get through it. You hear from that side, you hear the sounds of kids going. You're sort of incoherent yelling for help. Watch out! It's out there, and you clearly can see what they're talking about as this thing, and it's not doing it fast. It's doing it slowly because it is it is hindered by the narrowness of this corridor. It seems to be about the maximum size or the minimum size they can get through. But this tentacled creature is pushing through at you, and it looks kind of like that.
Yeah, that's great. Special Ivashu are always awesome. Well, I'm going to throw the deer carcass at it.
Okay, that might do the job. So you heave the deer carcass in its direction.
Yeah, and I don't mean to hit it. I just want to land in front of it.
You see bones in front of you, deer bones. Seems to be a place where it's sometimes fed. Doing that, okay, it comes out and goes for the carcass, and you realize that's not a very big meal for this thing. And you get to see how the monster works. That's always a nice thing. It comes forward and grabs it with its multiple tentacles, and then just this is taking a moment of time. So if you want to do something with this moment of time, or watch in abstract horror while it does whatever it does to this carcass, your preference.
No, I've seen worse. I do want to get my flail out because this thing's big enough. That's what we need. If there's a height enough here for me to use it,
you can use a flail in this room. Yeah, if you're in one of those corridors, it's out of the question. But this room, you've got a little bit of room. So it comes forward and it has these 4 tentacles, and it wraps around the carcass, and it kind of raises its head up, and it starts to choke the deer carcass down. At this moment, it might not be. Make an initiative roll for your combat awareness. And that's what initiative involves to some degree. So you're trying to assess the situation. So I'll allow you to make an initiative roll for what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Zyrsin is just transfixed by the horror of this. But you realize that you could probably get a free shot in at it while it is extraordinarily distracted by choking this carcass down.
If I can figure out where it looks like a head or something important, that's what I'm gonna hit.
Here, let me remove all turns here. Okay. Marcus, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I gotta. So what we're gonna do is you get a free shot, and I figure that it will probably even be an ignore defense. So just take your best lick.
Ooh.
All right. So
that's the time to do it.
That was the time to do it. So for the listeners, how Harn Master Combat works is you make your attack, and then the attack is countered by a defense. The creature, thinking it was being fed, didn't realize it was also being attacked. So its defense was to ignore, and Hafyn walked forward and has just laid into it, achieving a critical success with his attack roll. So that is a lot. So ignore defense, that is A times 4. So it's 4d6 plus 13. That's a lot of damage.
I thought it was 3, but I'll roll 4 for sure.
I guess ignore is times 4.
So 30.
30 damage. Give me a location on that.
I don't know what this thing's chart looks like, but
so let me just intersect here real quick for combat. Gentlemen, when you have combat and you do damage, you're gonna roll. You're gonna have a little icon on the top right. It says damage roll.
Oh.
If you click on that damage roll,
top left,
top left, it'll walk you through. So we'll keep your damage of 30, but just walk it through.
No, we'll just do it that way. We'll use the table. That's fine. It's gonna be plenty any way you look at it.
Let me grab my chart here. I got my chart right here. So 67. Medium is going to be right in the abs, right in the center.
Well, let's just use the chart. Let's just use the roll. Let's just use it the way it is with the macro setup.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. It's going to be a lot. So, you're aiming for center mass, Stuart?
I said head. I was thinking front side. I know it's -10. And
Okay,
I should have put that on my to hit roll, but it's functionally is still a 95 either way.
Okay. So hit that damage roll thing up there, and it's going to walk you through it.
I don't see it.
Yeah, where's this macro?
Is it on the bottom of yours? I can do it on my end. So.
Oh. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do high. It doesn't go to 13. Oh wait, the weapon impact value doesn't go to 13.
Well, we'll add what the remainder is.
Yeah. If it has a spine, I think I did well. But okay, right. I see where it is now. I forgot about the floating menu. That's my D20.
Okay, so ends up being 31 as I read it, hitting it in the face.
No, in the right upper arm, and then if it hit in the face, it would have been a cheek.
Yeah, obviously this is going to have a slightly different chart. I mean, because it is a
doesn't have. It's not a humanoid, so we have.
It doesn't have conventional arms. I was going to say you hit it in a tentacle, which probably means that it only has 3 tentacles instead of 4 tentacles. But Marcus, is there a chart for or a rule for if it's not hitting a critical area of their body? Is there?
Well, what would you consider it hitting?
One of the tentacles.
Would you consider that an arm?
Yes. Sure.
Well, we'll call it a hand. So that would be a Grievous 5, is what that would be. What?
Assuming its physiology is the same as ours.
Correct.
Because it may not care about its tentacles as much as we do.
Yes.
Well, but we're still. It's not going to be much less important than a hand, right? I think that's what Marcus was saying. Is he's converting it down from like an upper arm or shoulder that would be more important to a hand is more of an extremity.
Okay.
And so that's
so you
still bad for him.
You come in and you smash it and you just mush one of its tentacles as the tentacle is sort of controlling the deer carcass as it's choking it down. It kind of just sloppily regurgitates the carcass, and you see that one of its tentacles is kind of just sort of dangling down by its side. Now
it would make a 5d6 roll versus its endurance to see if it stays conscious.
Yeah, assuming that they're similar to
correct
people in most ways, because Avashi are kind of different.
It can make it run away.
It could do that. I'll absolutely give you that. Oops. I need to look at my critter.
That's close. It's not a great roll with a couple of 2s in there. Darn it.
So I'll add a. In fact, I'll just do that right now. So make a shock roll. Grievous 5 injury.
Yeah.
All right. So its target EML is 15. It rolls an 18. So it would, if it was a human, they would be going down.
They would be, They would fall unconscious and shock.
As to whether this creature acts the same way, you'll have to see.
We'll see. Okay.
But it is a lot of damage. I'm not going to deny you that. So how's initiative work? Initiative, we roll here? Is there an initiative button?
Yes.
There is.
Is it the one on the chart? Right here?
They can either use their token, or they can roll it from their character sheet.
Right.
But they have to have their token highlighted to get it on the...
Gotcha. I had it highlighted. Where is it on the character sheet?
It should be at the top under the skills, combat skills.
I did that.
Yeah, it doesn't. If you do it off your character sheet, it doesn't pop into the turn order. You have that window open.
Off the token.
How do I do it off the token?
Select your token, So it's just so your cursor's on it, and then you should have a little gray box pop up somewhere wherever you left it last. That's what was throwing me. That's where the damage roll is.
Oh, I got you.
Window larger.
Okay,
there you go.
So it is.
And it was just in it.
It is at minus 25, obviously. So, okay.
Same thing for you, Dave. Just highlight your character, and then you should have a little thing on your upper left-hand corner. It says initiative.
See.
That is a critical success for it, though. Even minus 25, its initiative is 40. No, it's 40. It just made it. Just straight up. Oh, no. We're not rolling that. It's not a roll. Okay, I got you.
No, it's not.
I thought of a way of doing it as a roll, but we'll keep it simple for now.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
It's your percentage skill minus your
right. Your
universal penalty. So if you have injuries or previous injuries or some other kind of thing, fatigue dragging you down.
Gother.
That
I thought of a way of doing it using a roll because I like some randomness to things, but
yeah.
Okay. There we go. All right. It definitely seems hurt. To what degree its physiology is quite foreign to you. You can hang in there, or you can. It seems to be trying to back up. I think is the safe thing to say. It is trying to back away right now. But it is your turn because you
I know. No, it's a dangerous thing. Somebody else is going to fall down here. She should have gotten rid of it. I'm going to try to get rid of it again. I'll take another swing, and I guess I probably need to have a step forward or two.
Okay.
AML, and I'm gonna do a minus 10 for aiming high.
Gotcha.
Shouldn't have done it. Okay.
So it dodged. So we had a marginal failure versus a marginal success. That's a pass. So nothing happens.
Yeah, okay. Just a miss.
It's just a miss. Zyrsin?
I guess
so he misses.
I'll probably miss too. But if we're stabbing at it,
give it a shot. No.
Need to be more bait for the creature anyway. So on the sheet, would I just
So if you scroll down to your weapons, where actually the
this would be this one.
You know, not the skill entry, but the actual quality attack figures.
Yeah, that's
near the right-hand sign.
All of your stuff is figured in there. It's already the math is done for you.
Yeah, so click on the dice icon. Yeah, like that.
Like that. There you go. Okay, so then you were aiming center mass pretty much?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me roll on your damage roll. And so it gets to dodge. Hold on. Didn't dodge yet.
Oh, that's right.
It gets to dodge. It is minus 25 to dodge. So it dodges. So marginal success using the combat chart that we use in Harn Master. Marginal success versus marginal success is a nullity. It moves away just enough for your stab with the short sword to miss it. And you can imagine it just being very chaotic and thrashing around, and just hard to get a beat on as you stab at it. It is thrashing around like somebody that ran over a snake. You know, it's flipping around. It's a lot of bulk here, probably 300 pounds, 400 pounds of bulk.
Oh goodness!
There's rocks coming down from the ceiling as this thing is thrashing, and it was just hard for you, Dave, to get lined up on it and stab at it. And
let me intersect one little thing here.
Yes.
Now, guys, when you outnumber an opponent, you normally get a plus 10 to hit,
or it's a minus 10 in his defense. Either way, I think.
No, it goes both. It's actually a 20-point swing, so it's plus 10 to hit, minus 10 defense.
Okay, was not a factor this time though.
But it all depends on what creature it is. If this is a larger creature, having two opponents on it might not be a big deal for it.
Okay. So on its turn, it squeezes back, leaving a trail of gooey slime and very dark blood as it moves back, and it seems to get loose into a larger chamber behind it. I'm going to say it used up most of its movement doing that because it was a tight squeeze for it. Now, if you go in there to attack, you will be severely disadvantaged using that flail.
But yeah, I got to stow it.
Trying to find this initiative.
You hear the kids; they seem to be closer. They're kind of right at.
Yeah. Well, I'll call out. You know what? I'll drop the flail. Call out to the kids. Come on, we scared it off. Get behind us. Get behind us. Can I see the thing still at all, even in the dim darkness? Yeah.
Dave can. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you can vaguely see it.
I mean, if I've got a line on it, I think I want to.
Now, I imagine you probably don't have your bow. So bows, you usually don't walk around bows strong, especially in damp places, because it's not good for bows. So switching weapons is a bit of a chore.
Yeah.
And if you switch the weapon, it may move on. It doesn't. It just. I'm going to say that this 10-second round happened with it withdrawing backwards, and the kids have rushed forward, and one of them is trying to squeeze through the little doorway, the little very narrow space right here to get out. You see a very well-dressed child, not surprising. So.
Dressed than I am.
Taylor's kid. So much for the shoemaker's son.
Shoemaker's son has more shoes. Yeah, well,
this kid is dressed nice.
This kid's dressed nice. Look at that. One of the kids is squeezing through, and you see them coming towards you, Dave. You see another child. What's that?
Can I try and help him along?
Yeah, sure. You can reach your hand out and try to pull him through. Even for kids their size and age, 11, 12, they got themselves in a pretty good jam here.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll pick my weapon back up. I mean, I'll just stand guard. If it comes at us, I want to be ready. But other than that, encourage the kids to come out and get going. Kind of a pass, but that's it.
One of them passes behind Dave's character. The other one comes through, and this thing, you hear it thrashing around, and it moves out of sight. But the kids are now at your side. One of them is still clutching a wooden sword.
I'll make sure, of course, you're Lobern and Holland, right? There's no other kids down here?
No. Yes, we are. Lobern and Holland. That's us. They look they look hungry. They look scared. They're covered in dirt. Wide-eyed. Terrified looking.
Right. Okay. Come along this way then.
Zyrsin, this is Hafyn. Stay behind Hafyn. I'm going to guard the rear. You just stay right behind him. He'll guide you out.
They follow you guys towards the way out.
Okay. I'm going to be holding my flail in one arm, but I'll get a dagger out just in case we run into something.
Okay.
Can't really see where I'm going.
Yeah, I have the light source. This doesn't work out so great.
It's like you're being drawn to the light, aren't you?
I should have handed that off to you.
I don't want it to sneak up on you, but I am a little bit worried that it has another way around. Do we miss it? Is that the exit up there?
You're going down towards the blast door, presently.
Yeah, no, there's the path here I can't see because the light source is too far off.
All right. Zyrsin starts to fill in.
Yeah.
Caves are dark. There's no getting around it. They are absent magic light. They are not the easiest places to see. Sorry, Dave. Hold on. Get you off.
The lights went out there for a second.
Let's try to get them off Try not to have people tied to the grid so much. It's okay for outdoor settings, but inside places it's just a pain. All right, you guys spend a few moments, and eventually the sounds of it thrashing around go away, and or become very dim. At some point, you hear a sound of like splintering wood coming down from this corridor, as whatever that creature is just broke something that was larger down there and made of wood. You're not sure what, but you've reached the rope ladder out. Sun's a little higher in the sky, a little more light in the chamber. You guys
boys climb up.
All right, they do. You don't need to tell them; they're already on the rope, and they scurry. Well, I guess I'll make a climb roll for them. As long as it's not doesn't. As long as it's end of 5, right? You might want to catch that one as he comes.
What's a catch roll? Throwing or?
Make me a dot. Make me a dodge. Oh, actually, make me a dex times 5.
Okay.
So it's not dodge. It's similar though. He starts to climb up very hastily and comes loose and comes plummeting down. There you go.
Okay.
You grab him, push him back
80
up.
is what I need.
Okay. The other one successfully climbs out, and they reach the surface.
Try again. Okay. I'm worried about that wood noise, so I'm climbing fast as well.
Okay. Let's go move you guys to the top.
And I'm going to run for the cottage once I'm at the top. The kids hopefully are smart enough not to fall back down the hole, and once they're in daylight,
once they hit daylight, they look around at you and like wonder what to do. And they're like, because they're kids, so you've been sort of leading them, and so now they're not sure whether they should just walk away or whether they should follow you, or they're not sure what to do.
He's gonna talk to the.
Sit by that tree.
They go and sit by the tree.
Okay. I'm rushing to the cottage.
Okay.
Making sure nothing's coming up the hole for a little bit.
Sure. You think that'd be pretty hard to do, the way that. There's
other things down there.
That's true. They do, those things can jump. You hear the woman puttering around, talking to herself. Do you knock or just come in? Give me an idea how
I'm going to open the door and come in, yeah.
All right. She comes forward. She looks a little concerned.
We found them. They're okay. It's angry.
Oh.
You said you had and big. You said you had a basement?
She says, I think it smashed the ladder down there. But it hasn't.
Okay.
That's what it sounded like. It was right underneath the. I heard it from the basement. There's a smash, and the floorboards rattled a bit. So I think it took out the ladder going down. It sounded very angry. Did you heard it?
I did.
She looks a little disappointed. Not like super disappointed, but a little sad.
Oh, well, can you yeah, okay. Come outside just in case it figures its way up your basement cellar somehow. So we know you're okay, but we're gonna think about this another minute. All right. I don't know where I left my bow, but I need to grab it back. Zyrsin, come with me. We're going to go back towards her cellar. Okay, after I've got my bow. Do the kids have a lantern?
No. I mean, they had one. They had a candle, but it's as long as it's burnt out.
Okay, it's just a candle. Okay.
I'm sorry, she said a lantern. Yeah, they had a lantern, but it had a candle inside and it's burnt out.
Okay. Okay, well, ask her to come back in and show us the basement steps.
All right. She leads you through the house. Just keep going to the back. Go to the kitchen. And she points towards that door over there. She says this pantry storage room there has
Okay. I'm having my bow out with the arrow knocked ready to. Hopefully, I can just open the door and shoot it down there.
Yeah. So there's a box on top of a trap door in the floor. It's right here.
Zyrsin, you're probably going to have to help me move it.
Yeah, I'll push that over.
It's not too heavy. I mean, she can move it herself, so it's not too bad. You could just give it a shove out of the way.
Okay. Yeah.
Shove it over there.
Anyway, maybe it's a pot shots, but if I open that up, shine the light down real fast, I'm going to be ready to shoot it if I can see it.
Yeah, it's it looks like it just you open it up and again these lights are not they're no great shake. It's not like a flashlight. It is like a candle light. And this room is kind of dark, so you get a better idea of how much light it's shedding. And as she described, there is a ladder that goes down into what looks like a semi-finished cavern level, or those caverns down below, and leaving sort of a basement area underneath. And there once was a ladder that went up, and it goes up like a good 15 feet, probably about 5 feet through until it opens up for a 10-foot ceiling area. And that ladder is now just in splinters on the ground. From where you are, you can't really see that far because you're looking down a 5-foot shaft before it opens. But you kind of move left and right, with the bow, and you just don't see it down there. I mean, it's also hard to see. It's dark, and you just don't have the best field of view.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was worth a shot. Well, not an arrow, but a look.
Sure.
Okay. Well, if it could have come up, I think it would have. All right. We'll put the box back. Well, Zyrsin, what do you want to do here?
I was going to defer to your experience, but I don't think we can just leave that thing down there unless, I mean, she's not going to let it starve. It's going to, I'm actually kind of surprised she let us come to the back here knowing we were going to try and kill it.
No, she knows it's trouble. Okay, let's.
She looks a little worried. I mean, it's been safe down there. I mean, all things are created and have their purpose. It is not it's not our position to decide these sorts of things. Well,
okay.
Sure, her theology seems somewhat confused.
Yeah.
Well, our choices are leave it or go down the death hole and try and solve the problem.
Zyrsin has gone down the death hole. At least based on his video feed.
Yeah, I'm trying to reset it.
Yeah, don't do that, Zyrsin. That's not... So can it get out? Can it get out to the river? I want to ask the lady. I mean, she must know the caverns better than anybody, and I'm concerned that where does that river go? If it swims at all, it could get out and start, hunting in the who knows where, near the city, near the town.
She pauses for a moment and says, "Well, it hasn't shown much desire to swim." But it can get to the water. I suppose if it went hungry long enough, it might try to swim out. She just doesn't seem to really know.
Okay. Hey, there was a Velosta down there too.
But they're pretty safe.
Yeah. She doesn't have an eye patch.
Let's just have a good gate there. They're safe where they are. There's nothing.
Okay.
There's no way they can get out. Well, they don't. That's because they don't swim. They definitely don't swim. I can safely say that.
Yeah. Okay. For sure.
Is there anything else down there?
She kind of does a mental accounting. 1, 2, 3. 7. Nope, that's it.
Oh, great. Well, we're gonna take the boys back to their father and get that sorted out.
I didn't even. The Velosta came by their own ways there. There's these caverns are quite. They go quite some distance. Yeah. I didn't put them there. She says, sort of in her defense.
Well,
the big thing I did put there. I admit that. But the Velosta, they made their own way there, and I caged them in.
I am worried that the big thing is going to get. Does it have a name? Did you name it? Does it respond at all to?
I have been told through visions and dreams that it is known as the Gorbid. She gives a little shrug. The Gorbid.
No, I actually, the audio cut out. I didn't catch it.
I'm sorry. the Gorbid.
Gorbid. Okay. It's just good to have a word for it. Now that I can say I've seen a Gorbid. I don't know.
I think we can realistically just leave it. We're just going to come back here someday, and she's going to be eaten by it.
He'll be off eating Tulwyn someplace.
Yeah. Okay. We're taking the boys back. I mean, I honestly recommend poisoning that thing with the next time you feed it a deer, but I am worried it's going to come out and be somewhere near the town or the river and start hunting farmers. But now that we've injured it, I think it is quite. I'm worried it's going to remember that. Okay, yeah, we'll get the boys back.
All right. They're still dutifully sitting under the tree. Let me break out Marcus for a second. Marcus, other channel?
Okay, go to the other channel.
Sure.
What's up?
So, hello audience. This is the GM Conversation channel. We discussed if they had an easy time of that, maybe having some of the Kurson's men on the way. I'm thinking let's not do that and just move on to other things.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Okay, thanks. All right.
Boat around.
Well, right. I don't think it'll use the boat, but...
Well, no, I don't mean that. I just mean that if a boat can go through the waterway, that creature can fit through the waterway.
Yes. It's just whether we find it in the river or eating townspeople or...
All right. We are back then. So,
okay.
Head back to Trobridge proper.
Yes, we'll wave at the Isiri. We'll take the boys. I'll give a little thank you, whatever, maybe it's polite. Yeah, and take the boys back, kind of in a hurry.
Okay. So you guys head back to the inn proper. Well, the town that is Trobridge.
Yeah. So, just Ivashu along the way, I'll tell Zyrsin a little bit more about them. Right, the Ilvyrians follow the god Ilvir, as you do if you're called an Ilvyrian. And his practice, whether he has divine purpose behind his things or not, is actually a point of scholarly debate amongst them. Some think he just makes things to make things, like it's his his craft and his focus is making strange creatures in Ivashu, trying to create something resembling true life. None of his Ivashu reproduce on their own. He only creates them, so they don't in fact populate and reproduce. They just go off and do what they do, eating strange things usually, but sometimes not even that. And so that thing could have, multiple brains. Who knows how many hearts? Very very tough, thick hide. We just don't know what it could be or what it could do, and how long it actually would take to bring it down. So,
although the good news with them is, and you would also maybe add that, but not all of Ashu are bad either. There's some that are
Right.
neutral, that are even gentle. It's just they're all shapes and forms. They're just weird.
Yes, they're just weird. And luckily enough, rock giants are surprisingly gentle and peaceful for their size and bulk. But I think that also means that because nothing can bother them, because they're a rock giant. They have no reason to be grouchy with you because you're not a threat. But most of them do eat some form or another. Although I'm certain there are plant and fungus like Ivashu as well, because they come in all kinds of things. So
the boys, as they reach the edge of town, they kind of angle through the woods, and this is the clothier, and
mm-hmm.
they as soon as they kind of come to the open, they just bolt into a dead run, just running for the door. So obviously,
follow at a regular pace.
Hareppa of Athos comes out and hugs the boys. The mother comes out, obviously very very happy that their boys have been rescued from near certain doom, and tears in their eyes. They want to talk to you and give you a reward for returning their young lads. I believe that was some new clothing for Zyrsin here was in the offering. But before we get to that, we want to go ahead and at this point we're going to do some skill rolls for combat skills.
So I'll hop in.
Yeah, sure.
So you're going to have a skill improvement macro either on your character sheet or up in the corner. And how that works, let me pull up one of the characters here.
Yeah, since we're
see. So there's a macro.
We're not on a battle map.
Yeah, so you can just go to your character sheet and go over to abilities, attributes and abilities, and you can click the roll ability. And what you're going to do is it's going to have a skill advancement, and you're going to put the skill you have. So we'll put initiative for this one and hit submit. And say that your skill base is 15 in initiative. You're going to put that in the input value for skill base. And say that your skill base is 62. You're going to put that in your mastery level, and you're going to hit submit. And then over on your chat window, it will tell you that Hafyn is making a skill advancement roll for initiative of 70, and his current master level is 62. So since 70 is higher than 62, your initiative would go to 63.
Okay, I'll take that one.
Yeah, so you're trying to fail this roll essentially. So you're trying to
yes.
Yeah, basically you're trying to fail the roll.
Right, and conceptually, what helps me is that this is how much you have left to learn, and so if your roll lands in the quote unquote space you have for improvement, it goes up one, and you take the skill point advancement. So the more skilled you are, obviously the more you know, and the less you don't know. So your chances of getting the roll failing, but getting the point right, rolling over your skill number is smaller. So
you could try to do the same with your flail roll, and you probably have a much less chance of success because your flail skill.
Yeah. I mean, I might as well try, but.
So let's go ahead and do your flail roll, and then we'll have Dave go through the same process with his initiative and his short sword skill. Didn't do much with it, but he tried. That's what's important.
Swung it. I am trying to find this macro you're talking about.
It is in the top right corner of the third tab on your.
You may need to have your character highlighted, which means I probably have to have a character on the page.
It's a little. It's actually a little bit. It's a dice-looking button that looks like a D20, but it's a little bit smaller, and it's right in the right-hand column at the top near skill advancement. And I'm telling you all about it because I'm looking for my skill base of my flail, and I can't find it. Oh, there it is.
It's on the character sheet?
Yeah, but the third tab on your character sheet.
Attributes and abilities?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see add.
No, down just the next couple of lines. It's right by skill advancement.
Attributes.
There's a couple of checkboxes by it that may or may not be blue.
I don't see anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's on a sheet. Okay, so just do me this favor, Dave. Just make an initiative skill roll and then add your skill base and add them up. That's the other way to do it. And we can port it over. Marcus, you can do that for us in case he's missing it.
Let's make an initiative roll for now.
Just make an initiative roll and add 14, and you're trying to roll, so that'd be a 70. So you're trying to roll a 70 or more for your initiative to go up. You're trying to fail the roll.
Okay, so make it target modifier plus 14.
Yeah. So roll initiative and add 14. Perfect. That's what you want. You want a terrible roll. So your initiative goes up to 57.
Okay. And then do the same for the short sword.
Short sword, 63 plus 14. You're trying to roll over that to see if you learned from using the short sword.
Yes,
wow.
I do.
You do indeed. So 64. And as you can see, as you get better at it, your window that you can gain success in starts to get smaller and smaller as you get more skilled. So you make those rolls less frequently. Make sense?
Yeah, I didn't know we added the skill base in, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it gives you that gives you your total
bit of cushion. Yeah.
Your total cushion, exactly. It's as high as it can go. It's hard to get it that high, obviously. I mean, you have to start rolling 99s and super high numbers in order to get to maxed out, which is obviously very unlikely. All right, so while you're discussing your battle and what you learned from it, the wife of Hareppa, she comes out with a piece of string with some measurements on it and starts to have you hold your arm out and takes your sleeve length down, and they come out with a very nice cloak. Although you have a cloak already, you have an Uthramuri cloak, I believe, already, so you don't really need that. But they have a nice.
Yeah, my cloak is the only nice
thing you've got. So they have a nice. They bring a nice tunic and a surcoat and some other clothing that you may not even wear, but you might not leave today, I think, is the bottom line. You guys might need to hit the trail tomorrow and make good speed. Or you get a late start today. That's going to be up to you guys. But by about noon, they go through their stocks, find something that's close to fitting you, and you are nicely outfitted out in some dashing new threads.
Actually, having reflected on this for a minute, since I've got a social event to get to, and I'm I don't know, doing someone the honor of showing up, I should probably show up in something that's not woodsman attire.
All right.
If they've got
you do need to carry that though, so it's going to be clothing is heavy. You'd be surprised. You look at a tunic, it's like, oh my, holy crap! A tunic weighs 11 pounds.
Well, for an armory kind of tunic, I'm fine with a tabard or something that goes over what I've got. Okay. I don't mean I'm kind of looking for something more. If they've got anything off the rack, and they probably don't, and everything they have in my size is probably for a kid, which might look ridiculous.
Or women, yes.
so it can be. It doesn't have to be fancy, but yeah, I need something for this.
Okay,
deal.
They can find you. They can get you a nice tunic that fits. Yeah. It probably is for children, but for half of the things that Loban and Holland wear probably will be only slightly too small for you. But sure, they can find something in your size. Is there a color preference? If a nice teal would look good.
Green or teal.
Sure.
Or blue.
Yeah, blue, a very CMS color. It has some nice embroidery along the sleeves, along the neck. It'd be nice. You wouldn't want to wear it at the field, but if you wanted to dress up and look nice, you could wear that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you acquire that and roll it up and put it in your pack, which is probably at Trobridge right now. Your traveling stuff is probably still there.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to try to leave this place? It's about noon.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get us, if we're rewarded, I guess the boys are safe, they're happy. I do want to have a quick conversation with the innkeep. I want to say Hafyn, but that's not right.
Oh, the innkeep, Turlin.
Yeah.
Turlin. Okay.
Turlin. I'm just gonna close out. Hey, we found Herpa's boys. The old lady in the cottage at the edge of town that has a cave on her property, and they got in there. But there's a relatively large Vashu in there as well.
His eyes kind of get a little big with that. Oh, well, we knew she had strange ways, and I mean, we're not a community that. I mean, obviously, if you're a Morgathan or something like that, you'd face consequences. But we knew she followed Ilvir, and we just sort of accepted that. But I didn't realize it was that much of a problem.
Well, as long as people don't go in the cave, I think it's fine.
She's a very good apothecary. I'll let you know. She's quite skilled.
And she's feeding the thing, so I don't expect that it will come looking for anything else. But if she dies of old age, whatever, it might come looking. So you're aware, and you can, if some people in the woods start going missing, I don't know. You might keep people indoors overnight, or I mean, you've got a pretty substantial walls here, and really the self-made, lord of the manor here should be trying to hunt the thing down at that point, but I kind of doubt he would. So I'm just letting you know what's going on so that you can manage it. I don't mean any ill will towards her. She's doing what she thinks is best, but
I understand. Well, I appreciate the information. If Kursan has I have a dozen men here. It should be, if Kursan's going to hold himself out to be a real lord, as part of his duties to go hunting down creatures that are
right.
Killing off peasants and serfs and farmers that are giving provender and food to his table. So we'll see if he really is the lord he pretends to be, if it comes to that. I share the same doubts that you do.
Indeed. So I'm headed to the north. I can't keep tabs, but if I see some brothers, I'll let them know as well that there's a potential problem here, and likewise, anyone else passes through, you might let them know if this thing gets loose in the woods. It's gonna, which I believe, if it gets hungry enough, it will swim out of the cave it's in. So
that would be concerning.
Yeah.
I will. I don't wish to let it go far and wide, because I am concerned that she might be harmed in some fashion. We don't want anything to befall her. I appreciate the information, Hafyn, and
right.
I may hire some men to go after it. Well, we'll see. Next time you check in here, whenever that is, I will tell you how it goes.
Okay. I suspect she's safe. It can't get up out of the cave the way...
No. If I made it known to the village at large that she had this thing in her basement, I would then become concerned.
Well, the children are going to tell their parents for sure.
That's true. I guess that's
those, the boys seeing monsters in a cave. It's
Well, they may not
that's just boys
keeping it either. Well, all right. Hafyn, you have places to go, so I am sure I will see you again in the next year or two, and I will let you know if anything came of it.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, cousin. We'll be on our way.
Excellent. So some things we didn't discuss is how much coin do you guys have? I mean, you guys stay here for relatively cheap, free, whatever. But just and provender. What do you guys have for food? Yeah, I mean, I know this is rather pedestrian stuff, but it is part of your load. It's part of how fast you can travel, how far you can travel. Foraging and hunting. I think it was Aragorn who said that it is you can live off the land, but it's very time consuming.
It is. I expect to not do that if we are going to make it there in 2 weeks or less. Right. So, although I haven't done the math on my.
So if you had roughly a pound or two of food a day, water is never a concern on Harn anywhere. So you carry minimal amounts of water on you. That's not a concern ever, because there's a creek every quarter mile probably. But for food to cover this journey, you're probably talking about like in dry goods, hardtack.
Well, plus
jerky,
bedroll and all that. We're probably thinking 20 pounds a travel pack.
Okay. Do you want to use the attached to the inn? I can move to the inn really fast. Attached to the inn on the western side of it is a chandler, which is basically a general store.
Yeah.
So you can get whatever you need. I didn't move you guys there as players, didn't I? I did. Good. You can get whatever you need there at a modest price. So, for 2 weeks worth of food, you could probably spend 5 silver and get rough rations for that period of time each.
Yeah. That'll probably be fine. We might pick berries or herbs or something to spice it up along the way, just for opportunity more than
If you're walking past it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. And is there? No. I mean, I've actually thought about putting some skill into cooking, but I didn't. So anything I prepare is going to be pretty much rough and ready the same. So
I can cook, but I don't have money. Very little money, if any.
Okay, I'll say that Hafyn probably made this trip with some money. Probably at least 60, 70 silver.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, Zyrsin probably has like 20 to his name.
Right. Let's see. And what it's
let's say 70.
Roleri do a lot of herb lore and foraging to make some cash for other, like the lady in the woods, right? We would trade herbs and raw materials for her to use in her potions and things and other healing.
Yeah, if you have that kind of relationship with somebody, you can do that. Sure. If you're in a spot you need to make some cash, you do that. You use the herb gathering skill and gather berylic or any of the herbs that are common to uncommon. Obviously, you're not going to find a Yulpri here or something like that. All right, so Dave, let's say you've got 25 and Stuart has and Hafyn has 75. So you have 100 between you, the both of you, which is a fair amount of cash. It's not a crazy amount, but it's a fair amount. But anyway, is there anything that you want to get here other than just basic traveling rations?
Zyrsin, do you want? I have tent and travel things like that. Do you need anything like that sort? Do we need a lantern for reading out around the campfire or something?
I would say a light source for us would probably be good, seeing as we don't have one natively. But as far as camping goods go, I would imagine I do have the basics, but I don't think I would have a tent. I'd probably sleep under the stars more often than not.
Um,
But I would have some form of blanket and what have you.
I think we can find enough large trees and other dry spots with just like a leather blanket. We don't need a full tent.
Besides, you have don't you have a spell that assists with that?
I do. I might roll like I did today.
Watch
Better
this.
to use that in a pinch.
I can make this really terrible lean-to, and just like that, it will rain on us all night.
That's right.
That's what happened last time.
It is.
I'm thinking about anything else. I mean, I don't. I think we can make it without renting a horse or anything. I don't think we need.
You really could. Nobody's going to rent you a horse. You have to buy it.
Well, we don't have money for that then. I mean, some bandages, first aid supplies, just in case, would be good. In case we get banged up with enough little things, that'd be good. So a couple silver on just bandages and a salve or whatever for minor stuff. Yeah, I don't think we need anything else.
Other than food, a light source, bandages are a great idea.
So the salve you'd probably get
from the old lady.
It has different names in different places.
Yeah.
Usually called in these areas called berylic balm. It is made from. It's in a little It's a oily paste, but it has. I mean, not that your characters really know how microbiology works, but it is an antiseptic. You can put it on a wound, and it helps keep it from getting infected. It helps it heal faster. They'll give you a slight discount on it, obviously, because you guys have been very good to them. It's sold in a squat red clay jar. It's called berylic balm, and this little jar of it, little jar like how do I use this thing? This camera, like a little jar with a stopper on it. It's 16 pence, 16 silver.
Yeah, if I don't have any, I'll buy it. It'll last a while.
You know how to use the berylic in its native form. Like you can take the plant that it comes from, and it's not as good as the salve is, but you can kind of like somebody that uses what's the plant I'm thinking of that everybody puts on wounds?
Oh, aloe.
Aloe, yeah, it's kind of like aloe. You could take the raw plant and you know how to prepare it in the field and break it open and use it on somebody if you can find it in the field. But this is at hand. It's a little bit more concentrated, and obviously you don't need to search around and hope you can find it. It is right there in the jar, ready to go.
Yeah.
But berylic is a useful plant. You certainly know how to use it and how to find it. It's just you can't always find it when you want it.
Well, just like the food, right? In a pinch, I can get it for myself, but moving at speed, I think we want to have it on hand. So yeah, I'll pay the 16 silver for that.
Okay. I'll contribute I think you said 5 silver for food ration.
All right, sounds good.
Can I get it for 4? Can I get even cheaper food?
Sure.
All right. You a metal mage of some sort? Shouldn't you be able to make gold?
Yeah, that's right. You just make gold out of rough metal. Here, you want to see some? You want to see silver? Watch this ingot of iron. All right, you guys spend another hour getting a few supplies together, and you eventually shoulder your packs, which Dave was far heavier than you wanted it to be, and start to trudge out of
Trobridge.
Out of Trobridge, heading more or less east.
Yep.
And you guys will make roughly, unless you really push it, which can cause conditioning rolls and fatigue, you can go roughly 20, and that's a good pace, 20 miles per day. So
we'll keep it at that until through the wilderness. If I feel like we're falling behind, we're not going to make it there, we might press a few extra miles a day, but
so you're making basically 5 leagues per watch, or 20 or 10 leagues in a day, and that's 2.5 miles to the league is roughly what it is. Usually a league is one of those funny words, and I like using it in fiction, fantasy fiction. Tolkien used the word league all the time, but historically a league is not really even it is a measure of time as well as distance. A league usually means how far you can walk in an hour. That's what a league pretty much comes down to being, is how far can a man walk in an hour. Harnick leagues to me are a little short, but then again, if it's over hilly terrain, it's probably the average. About 2.5 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour. That's something about what a league is. So you guys will get about 5 leagues today. I'm going to go ahead and bring out a little token. We'll keep track of your...
Yeah.
Actually, there's a token on the other map. Let me grab that real quick.
Yeah, we're still in the shop on our deal.
Okay, I'll move you there. I'll move you out there a second.
On the 16th, we went into the hole.
It's still the 16th. It's just later in the day. So you guys will get...
We lost a half a day, basically.
You guys will get one... So in overland travel, the usual way you keep track of stuff is you do leagues per watch. And there are 6 4-hour watches in a day. And usually two watches are spent in travel. That is the normal way that travel is conducted in Harn. I'll probably be a little bit more narrative with that than just going meticulously in that fashion, but it is that's way too big.
Whoa.
I will use that as a standard, though. So, day 1 of travel. Put you guys about right there.
Yeah, once we got away from from Trobridge, I would definitely ask him. So, what was in the contents of that letter? Where are we going? What are we doing?
Yeah. I'll show it to him at the keep of
rush, but.
No, I will. I'll show you the letter. There you
go. The keep of Garilian. Hopefully you can see that.
He points. This is your map, Dave, by the way. So, oftentimes I say the mage has been provided with a map by his master at some point in time, and this is your map that we're looking at. And he points his finger at this castle right here, located on the northern side of Kaldor.
I once saved the Lord's daughter's life. Is a short version of the story, and she's turning 21, and so she's to be knighted, and there's to be a tournament and other kind of celebrations. So the Lord has asked me to be there. So I don't want to let him down. I guess I see myself as, I suppose, something of a godfather, but that's probably a stretch. It's just you might as well take in a good time. If the Lord of a keep is offering, you don't want to blow it off, right? So it should be, it's kind of on the way. So we might as well go enjoy ourselves before we get you all the way to the north, right? Hopefully you don't mind.
No, I just didn't know exactly what was going on. So I'm glad to hear it's a happy venture and not some other beast to destroy or.
Well, it's not all Gargan and beasts. You're right. Sometimes things work out quite well, and you get to enjoy have happy occasions like this.
All right. Well, gang, I think that's 2 hours in, and that seems to be a good number per our listeners' enjoyment. And I think it's a good breaking point too. You guys are on the road, going towards Calidor, and I know Stuart has some things he has to attend to in a little while. So, is there any more conversation that you and character want to have before we conclude the session here today?
Zyrsin, you asked me a little bit about what I've got going on. I understand you've started with the Jamorvi aspect of Shek Bavar. Since we're in the roads and we're not worried about prying ears and peasant suspicions. Is that a magic sword? What else are you looking for through here? I mean, we're great to have Thirvians with Uthoma Roliri, but I can't say we've had a lot of Jamorvi mages along. Although, so what are your? How did you become a Roliri brother? I guess is really my question.
And I can provide detail if he can't. So,
I would say we actually haven't gone over that together as to the backstory.
He studied Jamorvi in Guarin, where there is a chantry. So he stayed in the north to study. And Dave, I did neglect to send you that information on that chantry, and I will do that for next time. So we could take up the conversation next time if you want to, and be more fleshed out.
Yeah, that'd probably be best.
And that's fine for where he studied Jamorvi, but I guess how did he become a brother with a Utham Roliri? Right, because I guess you're the son of a ranger. Is that right?
His father is similar to how Turlin is. He is
that's right.
He's connected.
Yeah, he's connected. If we're going off the story I had in the past,
which is fine. Yeah, this is the same character, basically a little bit more advanced. That's all.
Okay.
And a different chantry as well. So you can go ahead.
I'm trying to remember the story now. It's been over a year. I don't remember why I joined, or I know it's through connection with my father's, but I don't remember.
Well, we do try to keep in good graces with innkeepers and other folks that can provide us rest and sanctuary when things get a little too crazy in the wilderness and we need to duck away. So that explains. And Lyriel, right? So or near Lyriel. Is definitely a spot where a lot of rangers, Utham Roliri, come in and out and travel through. So it makes some sense to me.
In short form, it was a ranger, probably maybe even a Fivrian or a mage ranger of some sort that recognized his potential, and talked him and his father into not sending him off to become an apprentice innkeeper or ostler or some other guild trade, and convinced them, and maybe even to some degree the Utham Roliri helped fund him going into the chantry.
Yeah, that's what I remember was that it was kind of like a debt being owed was why I joined initially. Was they had funded, they saw my talent, and I was just a boy in an inn, and they saw the talent I had for magics in general, and they had helped get me into the chantry and funded my way to the chantry with the implication of using my skills in the future to aid the Utham Roliri.
Yeah, it was like that. And your father was also not like Turlin is here. He understood. He was not a formal member, but he was a friendly. He was a cousin, a friend to the Roliri. So that's basically the backstory.
Okay, that's
within that context.
That makes sense.
In the previous iteration, it was picking up with me first learning anything, meeting a different ranger, more or less the same feel of your character, and he started teaching me the basics. And it would seem with that backstory, I learned those basics, and then spent my time learning Trivium magic with the elves.
Yeah, and his character could probably still use some training in tracking and foraging and those kinds of skills as well. He's learned some stuff from the time he spent in Eviel, but he could probably still use a bit more training from somebody in Hafyn's place as well, a more seasoned woodsman. Zyrsin has some basic knowledge of that, but he's not a seasoned woodsman, and he could still learn those skills.
Well, I got to put my arm around Zyrsin and say, well, given my performance today, I think we never stop learning, really.
Yeah, for the most part, Zyrsin is still very fresh.
Yeah.
In most things.
Well, when you're my age, we hope that you're still fresh too, actually. Just actually.
All right.
Some other kind of joke about not being dead, but anyway.
Yeah, between sessions, I'll spend a little bit more time with you, Devin, just to flesh out a little bit better.
Yeah, just catch me on chat or send me some messages, and we'll get these details worked out.
Yeah, because I just got to kind of fill in the gap between where we left off before and where we got to now, just so I have a really good impression of where we're going with the character.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so with that, adventurers, we conclude episode 2 of The Tale of Two Daughters. And our stalwart heroes on the long road from Trobridge Inn to Tashel to go to, sounds like a birthday party is what it sounds like. That should be quite exciting. So until next time, we are done. Thank you.